billions in citizens' bank accounts. Vietnam just did the same. Parallels some of the things we've been talking about for years in this channel. I showed you the other day, us going over the Cyprus bail-ins from a decade ago, the UK bail-ins right now that they're talking about. Talked about the BlackRock gating of funds over the last few years. Lebanon bank closures. We've also talked about, had Tony Yazbek on the show here, talking about what happens when everything is rug pulled out from under you. The China 2022, they had tanks rolling down the street, also gating their citizens' funds, closing banks down so people couldn't get their own money, their own time and energy back to them. The FDIC here in the United States of America, which we also have as a video that has, I believe, 30,000 views just on our channel alone. It's got millions everywhere else. FDIC at a roundtable, dozens of people saying they don't trust the banking system. The people that are there to oversee the banking system, they don't trust the banking system. They are waiting for these things to happen, these crazy things to happen on tape. And this is all while people line up outside branches of their banks, of their credit unions, whatever it may be, begging for their own money back. People literally robbing their own banks in Lebanon to get their own money back. I mean, this is the insanity, while Bitcoin quietly just hit new all-time highs again and again and again. And this is going to continue to happen. You couldn't script it better. You could not script a better metaphor for the world we're living in. You really couldn't. On one side, the governments are tightening control, freezing funds, censoring transactions, and reminding you who they really are and who really owns your money. On the other side, a parallel system is thriving, truly being built and thriving, a lifeboat off the fiat, debt-based, legacy, monetary Titanic, a system where no one can freeze your wealth, no one can censor your speech, and no one can stop your exit. No one can stop you from opening an account, which is what we're going to talk about here in a second. People try to get all technical with what's happening, and oh, you know what? It was just different accounts. It was just these accounts they didn't know who they were and stuff like that. Well, tell that to the person who is trying to build wealth and can't. They cannot. They cannot do what they need to do because they don't have the assets. They can't open a bank account. They can't do anything that is actually beneficial to them to start a life, to get going, to climb up the next rung in the ladder. And the question is, the ultimate irony is, again, people are trapped in this fiat panic while freedom is trading at $125,000 a coin. So again, the question really is Bitcoin winning? Is it winning? Well, it already is. That's the beauty of it. Do you actually want to be free when it's finally within reach? Do you actually want to be free? Because the tools exist now. The titanium plates, the open source wallets we talk about here, our partners here are incredible partners. They exist. The whole stack is here. If you want it. If you want it. Every piece of that sovereignty stack is here. The only thing left is whether you'll use them before your bank account locks the doors, before your bank locks the doors, before your government locks the doors, before your stock brokerage locks the doors. It sickens me that we have to do this. I've had to do this for years and talk about this. Make videos about this stuff when the answers are there. And Bitcoin just quietly continues TikTok, next block, doing its thing over and over and over again. Prices surge as confidence in fiat collapses. James Lavish just talked about JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, now recommending Bitcoin as part of the debasement trade. We talked about James, we were talking about this the other day. Many people coming out, Muhammad Al-Arian, talking about the debasement trade. Well, welcome. Welcome for what many of us have known for years, decades. 1971, the dollar being delinked from reality, being delinked from money. The dollar ceased being money in 1971, delinked, uncoupled from reality. Well, welcome. It's good to have you guys. It's good to have everyone. And guess what? The lifeboat is here. The lifeboat can be divided into millions and millions of bits, millions of pieces for everyone. The lifeboat is big enough for everyone. That's the beauty of Bitcoin, of an uncensorable money, permissionless money, a decentralized money. That's the beauty of this. So we're going to continue having these educational bouts, the ups and downs, the fear and greed. Again, the institutional validation of what we already know. Sound money wins when trust dies. So the two Morgans coming out and saying the quiet part out loud, telling us everything we need to know. And that's really all it comes down to. And governments are losing control. And why is this? Governments are losing control. Government debt. If you think about it, I'm going to try to share a screen here. This is just absolutely wild. What's happening. We have a world where government debt was about. I'm going to bring it up here so you can see it actually. But government debt was at, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8 trillion. Let's see here. 2008, it was at 2006, it was at 8 trillion. 2007, it was at 9 trillion. 2008, 10 trillion. And it just explodes. We are now at 35 trillion just last year. Now it's at what, 37, 38 trillion dollars. That exponential debt curve we are in is only going to continue. It is going to explode. There's no way that it can't. It has to. And because of that, we know, therefore, Bitcoin's price will continue exploding to the moon because it's inverse of the currency and what's actually happening. So get locked in, get plugged in to what's actually happening, because this is the trade. And the biggest guys in the world, Mohamed Al-Arian running PIMCO, or did run PIMCO, some of the biggest investors in the world, they are starting to realize, oh, this Bitcoin thing, gold and silver, obviously both now hitting all-time highs. I believe silver is about to hit an all-time high. If it didn't already today, or I haven't looked today, but gold hitting making new all-time highs. And that's the legacy wealth around the world telling you what's going on, the reading between the lines. And Bitcoin overshoots. Bitcoin, as we know, continues to overshoot over time. So this will continue to happen. Bitcoin is a truly finite container. Gold and silver have a small inflation rate, hence why you can mine more of it, so the price gets leveled out at some point, because when people are more incentivized to go find more, then the price will, the supply and demand balances out. We don't have that with Bitcoin. Bitcoin does not have that. It's perfectly finite for your finite time and energy. So that trade is perfect. And that's why we've never seen anything like this. That's why we joke. I mean, anything could happen. You could have 200,000 by this month. At the end of the year, you could have 1 million in a few months. It can go parabolic without a moment's notice. This is what we're playing with, and we just don't even realize. In the mining, the cleaning up the environment, the permissionless money, not having to get, clamor, just, oh, please, can I get a bank account? Oh, please, just give me a way to build wealth. I mean, think about that. Humans having to grovel at other humans in order to save their time and energy. Absolutely absurd. I mean, it pisses me off, quite frankly. And we're still here. We have the education, or that we have the tools, the sovereignty stack available, and it's still something we deal with. So again, look at that. The debt is exploding. A lot of people have probably seen the world, debt clock, or the US debt clock.org or whatever, where it's, just spinning, right? That's what is coming due. The interest payments are bigger now than the military spending. I mean, think about these things that we're in right now. How do we think this story ends at the end of the day? Truly. I mean, think about it. This trend will continue of exploding debt. The system is mathematically guaranteed to fail. It's a debt-based system built on nothing, built on air, built on confidence. I mean, this money is a psychological game. That's what it is. People believe there's inflation, or they believe there's not. They have confidence in the dollar, or they don't have. When you don't have confidence in that fiat currency, it goes to zero. You have hyperinflation. We've seen it all around the world, Zimbabwe, all these different areas. And this is why you have these bank runs. You have these different things going on. Thailand. Let me show you some of this stuff. I mean, this is it's unnerving stuff, but we have to talk about it. Otherwise, you can't. Actually, I want to read this actually. So because I want you guys to have some context. Thailand freezing 3 million bank accounts, a nationwide crackdown on financial fraud. Because this is really important. With the central bank warning that more freezes are imminent. Warning that more are imminent. This action, which began in the past month, has caused widespread disruption. Widespread disruption. Again, this is psychological. This is why this is so important. When currencies fail, it destroys so many things in society. And we've lost 99% of the purchasing power of the dollar in the last 112 years. Where do we think this is going? Where do you think this trends continue, or are going to all of a sudden just reverse and completely revert back to sound properties? No, of course not. We're building the system outside of the failing system right now with Bitcoin. So it's affecting ordinary citizens, which again, you look at the legacy news, a lot of people go, oh, it was just fraud accounts or things like that. Well, here we are, small businesses being affected, ordinary citizens, because it's psychological. When there's a bank run, it's emotion based. It's not, there's no intelligence, there's no logic to it. It's just, hey, I think my money's being stolen from me. I got to do whatever I can to go get mine. And all logic goes out the window. That's what happens. Humans are emotional creatures. So that's why the psychological aspect is so important. It's a psychological engine. Nolan Bowerly talks about this all the time. Many of these people are caught off guard with no prior warning. Again, there's not going to, unless you're watching FDIC panels like we have, and we've shown this stuff over the years, you're not going to know. You're not going to, most people don't pay attention. The sudden freezes have created a significant banking crisis. As Martin Armstrong describes below, people have turned to using cash as they fear their bank accounts will be targeted next. So here's another person writing about it. Thailand has become a case study for the use of biometric data in every facet of life. Every banking transaction is monitored and scrutinized. Any perceived discrepancy is flagged as fraud and punished without due process. So again, you have freezing of accounts, and then you've got people being tracked inside that system. So I mean, you can't escape it either way. That's the wild part about all this. So flagged as fraud, and again, you don't like the government, you're on one side of the aisle or the other side, guess what? The next time the other person gets in, they're not going to like what you're doing. This is the inevitable outcome. When you think through first principles, you can say A plus B equals C. This happens and this happens and this happens. Therefore, I know this thing will happen. Life becomes much easier when you can logically deduce things into their component parts. Every banking transaction is monitored and scrutinized. Any perceived discrepancy is flagged as fraud and punished without due process. Regulations have overwhelmed the system, resulting in a full-fledged banking crisis. Over 3 million Thai bank accounts were frozen instantaneously without warning as a result of government overreach. Transaction denied. You contact your bank to see why the payment failed, only to learn that your account has been frozen. All of your accounts, for that matter. The bank is investigating you for suspicious activity and potential money laundering or fraud. There was no warning, call, or letter. And this is, let's be really clear here. Again, politics are downstream from culture. So if the humans are allowing these things to happen, this goes anywhere in the world, then it will happen. And in America, fortunately, we have ways to protect ourselves. And so government fears the citizens a little bit more, but politics are downstream from culture. There are more citizens than there are people running the government. And again, the government is just a collection of people. So we need to understand that. And people across the board can be educated and sentiment can change. That's the beauty of all this. There is massive hope going forward. It's not all bad, but the thing that drives me insane the most is that so much of life we have 8 billion stories we're all telling ourselves, and life is just a collection of stories we're all telling ourselves. I can't, I can, I should, I can't, I won't, I shouldn't. Those are all stories we tell ourselves and why we do or don't do things. Well, everyone's going through the same thing. So the educational process is us getting on the same page and understanding, hey, these things are happening. This could happen at mass scale, or these things can happen here. Let's figure this out before it gets too bad. So you're completely locked out of your accounts and have lost the ability to purchase. You cannot fill your gas tank up. You cannot purchase groceries. You've been completely removed from the financial system, and you don't know when or if you'll regain access to your funds. This is a reality for millions of people in Thailand. And again, we shared this has happened in Cyprus, in the UK, happened in China, happened in Lebanon. I mean, it's happening all around the world. And again, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. This is going to continue happening because we have a world built on vaporware. Digits in an account somewhere, a stock brokerage account, a bank account. Thousands of accounts are frozen each week. Panic has ensued. Again, the psychological aspect. Retailers are no longer accepting cards, demanding payment as in cash. They're worried that they will be removed from the banking system. So this phenomenon is not limited to Thailand. Vietnam recently erased 86 million unverified accounts. So again, Bitcoin doesn't have these problems. There's no morality. The morality, people can spend on what they wish, what they would like to do. There's no, by running a node or doing things to actually promote sovereignty, you don't know, it's not your job as a node runner to know what that person's buying or what they're not. That's on them, right? But denying bank accounts in Bitcoin, you can open up a new wallet. You can get a new cold storage wallet. You can get a new, Passport core. You can get an open source wallet. You can open a new hot wallet, a mobile wallet. You can do these things without having to ask government or banks to do that. That's the beautiful part. And then again, that's the part that defunds the system. It starts to eat away at the corruption, and governments then start to acquiesce and they start to respect their citizens more. But when the government has you bent over the barrel and they can do whatever they want to you, well, now you're at the mercy of the government. So Vietnam, again, just recently did this as well. Governments are demanding banks track every transaction, tracing each amount back to the individual citizens using biometric data. And we're going to talk more about digital IDs, what the UK is doing in some future videos here going forward. The government believes these provisions will prevent capital from leaving the radar and therefore taxation. Another thing, another big one. So that's all part of it too, controlling what's going on. Instead, governments are propelling the cycle amid this event, this private wave, as people cannot possibly trust the current financial system. This is the world we're in. And until people start waking up and understanding what's actually happening. So, and I wanted to show this really quick. So Vietnam, again, go Google these things. Go check them out. Trust but verify, or don't trust, go verify on your own. Go check these things out. So you see Vietnam, this happening there. Obviously, Thailand, we just showed that one. There's so many of these that you can go look up and see the China banking crisis and what was happening a couple of years ago there. So there's so many that you can go look up and actually see what's actually happening. The Canadian truckers just a couple of years ago, this happened as well. Obviously, the Give Send Go, whatever, these legacy systems freezing people's funds. They are donating money. Grandma's donating her money, and someone comes and says, you can't do that. Again, Bitcoin solves these problems over and over and over again. So you are now, you have the respect as a human to do what you wish with your money, with your time and energy. So that's why this is so incredibly important. Again, we talked about the debasement trade. There's a global trust collapse. China and Russia divesting from the U.S. bond market. I've been doing this now for a while, right? Gold and silver hitting all-time highs. We talked about that, the legacy system. Everyone buying hard assets. Again, this debasement trade. The only reason Bitcoin's not at $1 million yet, in my opinion, is education. Price reflection of education. So we talked about Lebanon, Tony Yazbek, this happening to him, people robbing their own banks to get their own savings. When you give your money to a bank, it's a private lending relationship. They lend you dollars, or they lend your dollars 10,000 times. You earn 0.0001%, but they lend it out to 1,000 people at 5%, and you get 1 cent back in your account. Congratulations. The younger generation will never tolerate this theft. They will not tolerate it anymore. So this is truly a test of character going forward. Again, the psychological aspect. This era will test our humility, resolve, and our ego. We must set the example, help people escape the failing systems, the failing currencies. The call starts here. And some of my moments were the IRS targeting citizens 12 years ago, targeting groups of people. When I saw people's funds being frozen for their beliefs, I knew we needed a different system. And this is what led me 10 years ago to start going down the Bitcoin rabbit hole. Math and code is greater than human corruption and trying to trust that someone's auditing the gold and silver, trying to trust that someone's auditing the currency printer, the central banks. Yeah, right. Good luck. That's why this has never worked. So this is why the importance of, again, our sponsors, which we are very proud to have, the Passport Core by Foundation, the new 12-word titanium seed plate, your cold storage wallet, it's open, made in USA, open source, privacy is their ethos. And then you generate a seed and you put that 12 words or 24 words with a 24-word plate, you put them into titanium. That way you have your generational wealth forever. So this is why this is so important. The reason we have these sponsors is because this is exactly this moment. Exactly this. This is why. Survive nuclear fire, flood, everything. Your assets can live in your mind. You can't do that with a house or a stock. I'm a former real estate guy. I can't pick up my apartment complex and move it to Thailand, ironically. I can't move it to the other side of the world. I can't send gold and silver to the other side of the world instantaneously. All that time in between me sending my gold there and all the cost is when all the funny games happen. So when you hold your own keys, you become ungovernable. And the leaders around the world have to start respecting you. You don't listen to them, they listen to you. They are governed by us. And even people in government, governments are people. They will start understanding this and learning that it is good for them. It's good for their families. It's good for them to be in on this. That's why the saying of you don't change Bitcoin, Bitcoin changes you. That's how this will end up happening. So again, we talked about Tony Yazbek earlier. Tony lost everything in Lebanon's banking collapse. And then he built a company, he rug pulled, because he had all of his stuff in the fiat system. And he built a massive company to help people with their, what do you know, their passport cores and their other cold storage wallets and their stamp seed, and put it all together, run their VPN, run their privacy setup, run their nodes, their full cold storage setup, multi-sig, get into estate planning, all this stuff. They do that. The Bitcoin Way guys, Tony's team does that. So those three, this trifecta of sponsors that help our show and help us put more education out there to more people. And believe me, we're going to be having more and more content, probably a daily bit, maybe a handful of times a week, where we come do a 15, 20-minute show each day, or many days of the week, or as much as we can, a 1 or 2 podcasts. There needs to be more education. There has to be more out here, because we are truly at a time that tries men's souls. And we have to stand firm in firm reliance and standing together. As the founding fathers said, firm reliance on divine providence, and stand together, pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. We're at that time. I mean, this is the end of the Declaration of Independence. It says that very thing, right? The last paragraph says that, with mutual protection, by divine providence, we pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. That is the time. We are so blessed. We get to be alive in this time, and we get to be alive in this time. We get to be a part of this. That is mind blowing. We think these things just happen in history books, these crazy events, and it's just like, oh, that's not going to happen this time around, or that's not going to happen here. No, we get to be a part of it. We get to actually experience this. That's what's incredible. I could not be more grateful. I don't know about you, but I could not be more grateful. So these three sponsors, like I said, form this freedom triangle. This freedom triangle. You have Tony's team, the Bitcoin Way guys, help you set up your foundation, passport core, your stamp seed, get your seed into titanium, and together that enables total independence. And that's why I talk about them so much, because it's so incredibly important. Because that very mechanism, that triangle of team, business is a team sport, and you have to come together. We can do much more together than we can separately. They help us, we help them, they help you. It's a great cycle that we get to go through. This is Concord. This is the Battle of Concord. This is the shots heard around the world. And this time it's peaceful. That's the beautiful part. We get to do it peacefully. We get to be alive at this time, but it's a peaceful thing. We don't actually have to fight. We get to fight with open source code and self-custody and teams of people and community that we're building. All of us are building around the world. Surround yourself with good people. You are the average of the 5 people you hang around with most. This peaceful revolution starts with us here and now, so that there's no bank accounts that you need to be worried about being frozen, bail-ins, bailouts, all these things. Nothing has to come for you. So with that being said, well, things will come for you. I guess I should say things will come for us, but we will stand resilient. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys a ton. Hit me with a question or two if there's some questions. Let me see. I got to see the chat and see if there's anything there. I have the wrong screen pulled up, of course. So honestly, I have no idea. Let's see. Not exactly sure where the comments are. We'll see, they're not showing up, of course. So if you have any questions, send them over. Appreciate you guys a ton being here. And my challenge for you is protect your wealth. Protect your wealth. Protect your time. Protect your family. That's my challenge. My challenge for you. So again, don't be the last one to grab a seat, because when the fiat ship finally goes under, there's no second chance. So check out the sponsors here. Like I said, they're in the description below. Stampseed.com. Put in the code Brandon, you get 15% off. And foundation.xyz/Brandon, you get $10 off your foundation passport core. Or if you're going to grab one of the other wallets, amazing companies. And then the bitcoinway.com/Brandon, and you get a free consultation to put your plan in place. So I appreciate you guys a ton. Check out the video we just did with George Bodine, epic rip. We've got some Michael Dunworth coming out soon this week, Jeff Walton, Jeff Booth. We have some great videos coming out. Some great people we're just recording with right now. So, and let me know on the feedback you guys have in the lives, and also these 15-minute segments, 4 or 5 times a week, these daily bits, news and information coming quicker, faster. I think that would be a fun thing to do, just to get information out sooner as well. And so I appreciate that. All right, let me look one last time. I don't know why this is not working. Let's see here. I'm trying to find the live comments. Oh yeah, somehow found them. They're like way over here though. Torup, great to see you, brother. Appreciate you being here. Lavish. So we're gonna have some live guests on here. We'll have some live guests. I will probably have Tony Yazbek on, some different people on here soon, doing some 5-10 minute segments with people. Lavish, we just had on the podcast, obviously. So, maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll do some live streams. I will be at the Canadian Bitcoin Conference speaking there and speaking at Camp Nakamoto here coming up as well. So I'll be with all these guys, or a bunch of guys, going forward. James, obviously, that'll be a lot of fun. So I'll try to get in some of those guys. Looks like we got a spam comment. A little bit laggy. Yeah, I got to try to figure out the internet on this too. Try to figure out the internet on it, see what the deal is there, see how we can make it better going forward. So anyway, appreciate you guys a ton. It's going to be an incredible ride. Look forward to seeing you guys next one. Check out the sponsors here. And yeah, we'll try to win the hockey game. I haven't played in a year and a half though, tore up. So we'll see. We will see what happens with that. But I appreciate you guys more than you know. We'll get these lives probably early in the day going forward. Try to win the U.S. Hockey game next week, USA versus Canada, Bitcoin hockey game. And appreciate the love. Give me feedback on what you guys like. DM me, comment, make fun of me, whatever. I love it. And we can talk Bitcoin all day. So I think some daily bits will be great, some daily hits, if you will. And we'll try to figure out the internet thing. As I said, I'm trying to figure out the connection on the live stream and what's going on, how to make it better, how to make at least even going forward outside the live stream, how to make the video. Because when I get the perfect files afterwards, I'm trying to figure out how to make them perfect going forward. So yeah, happy all-time high day. Let's go. And it's gonna keep going up forever, guys. It's gonna keep going up forever because we know guaranteed the dollar will keep going down forever. So they're completely inverse of each other. Mathematically guaranteed to go up forever, Bitcoin is, because the dollar is guaranteed and designed to go down forever. So let's rock and roll, stack your corn, and go touch some grass. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow. I'll have another one.